Welcome to The Average Drinker. I'm Dara, I'm your average drinker, and this time, well, I'm going to tell you what I've actually been drinking this month. Normally, I'm doing reviews, I'm doing blind taste tests, and I drink for those, but on a daily basis, this is what I drink right here. Maybe not a daily basis, but most days, these are the drinks I like to have. So I'm going to start off over here on the right. I've got the Fluffy Pumpkin Toasted Marshmallow Pumpkin Porter from Odyssey Beer Works. That's right here in Arvada, Colorado. And by golly, I love pumpkin beer. I cannot get enough of pumpkin beer. I keep coming home with more pumpkin beer, and Bill's like, Dara, you can't have any more pumpkin beer until you finish at least one of these pumpkin beers. So I keep replenishing them because they're so good, and I'm actually going to be sad to see the month of October end. Even though there's going to be some Christmas beers coming out. Those are awesome. But that's what I'm drinking right now is this Toasted Marshmallow Pumpkin Porter. And if you didn't watch my video from, I don't know, it was like earlier this month or last month, I did a review, a blind taste test of pumpkin beers. And this one finished second. Go check that one out. It's on my YouTube page. But I love going to Odyssey. Odyssey is literally like less than a mile from my house. So I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time because I can just go replenish this stock of pumpkin beer anytime I want. Well, as long as it's still there. But this is my last one of these, so I'm going to have to make a quick trip there this weekend for Halloween weekend, get another one. Alright, so next up, we've got this awesome beer, which there's a great story behind this one. So this is the WeldWerks Root Beer Float Stout. And if you like root beer at all, oh my gosh, this beer it's insanely good. It literally tastes like a root beer float. And I only knew that because we were out one night, we were having drinks at the stock room, enjoying ourselves, having some Sazeracs, which that'll be up here in a minute. But we were having drinks there and we decided to leave and go get some pizza. And we were at this Homegrown Tap and Dough in Arvada. It's a really good pizza place, and they have so many beers on tap. And we came across this one that said Root Beer Float Stout. So of course we had to give it a try, and we took a sip, and it was like, holy moly, mind blown. Like, this beer was so good. It's so delicious. Like, it tastes exactly like a root beer float. So we decided we're going to start searching around and finding this. Well, it was a little harder to find. So one day we just decided to take a road trip, and we drove to WeldWerks, which is actually in Greeley, Colorado, and we bought like several like 6-packs of this, or 4-packs, I think. Either way, it's awesome, delicious beer. It's only 6.4% alcohol, which I think actually, yeah, this Fluffy Pumpkin is 6.3, so they're super close. Both awesome beers. Really, really good. So that brings me to my next beer. Yes, I like to drink beer too when I'm not drinking whiskey. And this beer, holy moly. So this beer is called Enjoy By, and it says Enjoy By 10/31/21, which is Halloween. It's by Stone. And I didn't necessarily like the regular Stone IPA, but this is a Hazy IPA. It's 9.4%. It is awesome. So good. I went back to Kansas and I was like hanging out with my family, and I wanted to go get an easy drinking beer. Well, 9.4% might not be an easy drinking beer. I mean, it's easy drinking because it tastes good, but it might be a little high on the alcohol if you're going to drink several of them. Well, that's exactly what I did. I found some of these in the liquor store in Kansas, and I drank a 6-pack, and we picked up another 6-pack because it was so good, and brought it back to Colorado. And now I'm hoping I can find more of these, or hoping I can find something super similar. It's really good. I love Hazy IPAs. You know, it's interesting to me that I like them because if I look back at my life and over the last year, I never even liked IPAs. I actually grew up in Missouri where we drink like Bud Light, Coors Light, Natty Light. That was the good stuff. And then in college, I kind of moved toward those like Boulevard Ales, Boulevard Wheat Beers, Blonde Ales. But then I really started drinking IPAs last year, and holy moly. My taste profile has changed completely, and they're so good. All right, now on to the next thing. Yes, this is a bottle of Blanton's, And, well, I actually love Blanton's. It is so delicious. And let me tell you how I got to drink this bottle. So, Bill, my boyfriend, who has these awesome shelves of liquor, bourbon, whiskey, beer, all of the above. He has so much to choose from. And whenever I started dating him, I was like, what in the world is that bottle? Like, it's really cool, has a racing horse. I didn't even really drink whiskey. But I wanted to try this because the bottle looked cool. And then I realized that people in the whiskey world were like, Blanton's, it's so overrated. It's so overrated. But I tried it, and it's not overrated. Unless you're paying secondary market prices for it. And that's absurd. Like, don't do that. That's nuts. And I actually did that. I bought a bottle myself. That was a little more than it should have been, but it's so good, and it's so hard to find. Like, in Colorado, it is nearly possible to find these allocated bottles. But they are good, and it is worth spending your money on. Just don't pay secondary market prices for it. Just do some hunting. Maybe you'll find one. Tastes so good. So good. Especially on a cold day. It's a warmer one. It like warms your soul from the inside out. That was a lot of talking. I did stop and take a drink break for a second because I feel like my mouth was running a million miles an hour. Let me tell you, my dad told me once, Dara, if you could ever get paid for every word you say, I think he was insinuating that I talk a lot, but who knows. Either way. So back to that stockroom I was telling you about earlier. The stockroom is Inside Spirit Wine and Provisions. It's in Arvada, and it is an awesome speakeasy. I'd love to go there. Probably go there a few times a month, if not every other week. So inside of this stockroom, and they gave me a sample of Stellum to try. I had never tried Stellum. They gave it to me, the Stellum Lyra, and my mind was blown. Holy moly. It might be my bourbon of the year. This is awesome. Stellum Lyra, if you haven't watched my video review on this, I did a video review on this recently. It's on my page. Go check it out. This is so good. I mean, so many great flavors, and it will warm you up on a hot day. It's just an easy drinker, sweet drinker, and it is so good. So once I tried it at the stockroom, I had to get it. This is a great bourbon. In fact, actually, I've drank about half of it already. So it looks like I'm going to need to pick up another bottle. And hopefully they have another one because this is a store pick. So remember when I told you about the Sazerac earlier? Well, that's my final drink. And it's not on the table because, well, I cannot make a Sazerac cocktail. But I get them anytime I go out. I love the Sazerac cocktail. So I first had one whenever I went to Bluegrass in Arvada. It's an awesome coffee shop. It has a great bourbon selection. I mean, seriously, their coffee is so good. I love to go on walks there and get coffee. But their bourbon is awesome, and they make a really, really great Sazerac cocktail. So one night I was at the stockroom, I think it was last week, and I went there, and they typically make their Sazerac cocktails with Rittenhouse rye. Well, I was like, hey, do you think that you can maybe make this with a Wild Turkey 101 rye? They're like, sure, why not? So they made it with the Wild Turkey 101 rye, and oh my gosh. I was pretty much mind blown at how good it was. It was so much better. I really loved it. And now I'm thinking, I gotta try it with so many other ryes because there's so many ryes in the world. And I want to know which one actually makes the best Sazerac. So we'll see. I'll probably be trying them out every time I go there. But yeah, these are my cocktails of the month. I mean, not cocktails. Okay, so I've got beer, I've got bourbon, I had a cocktail, and this is pretty much my go-to for this month. What have you been drinking this month? I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. Leave a comment. Tell me what you've been enjoying on a daily basis. What's your go-to drink? Maybe you have something similar to me. Maybe you don't. Let me know what you think. And be sure to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Check back next month. I'll tell you what I'm drinking for November. Thanks so much for watching.